Hey, how you doing? This is Nicky from Nickiespickies again. We're back now. We got the meat sauce here, which is not a lot of it. I had some frozen from a few weeks ago, but today we're gonna make fresh with our peeled whole San Marzano tomatoes, where we're gonna crush them up with our fingers, get them in there nice and moist. You'll get them in there and make it nice and chunky. You know, don't be afraid. Get your hands in there. It's okay if it splashes around. Get them nice and chunky. You know, do that stuff. Keep grinding it up. Hesitate on that a little bit and get back to that. I got the water boiling here for the lasagna because I prepped the lasagna a little bit earlier than normal. Run over there to the sink, wash my hands real quick. We're over here. Here's my lasagna pan. Usually what I do with it in the beginning, before I put the lasagna down, I have my imported Pecorino Romano cheese here. I get that Pecorino Romano cheese. I just sprinkle a little bit on the bottom of my lasagna pan always because it gives it a little crust. And then I put the pasta on top of the cheese. And then I'll build it for you before the pasta gets ready. Here's some chopped onions for that sauce. And here's our ricotta mozzarella mixture for in between the layers of the pasta on the lasagna. We start with that. You just bind that up. Mix it all up nice. Get it nice and in there. And then we'll come back to that too also on the other one. Still have our homemade Italian bread there. Get that. So what we'll do is we'll come back afterwards. The water's boiling nice. And here we come back again to our San Marzano tomatoes, where I'm just breaking it up nice. Just with my hands, like I said before, be afraid, get in there, crush them up. Everything comes out, it'll be beautiful, a little chunky. And with the San Marzano tomatoes, they're sweeter. There's not a lot of seeds. My man Luciano Russo, he knows that. Shout out to my buddy. Grade school friend, longtime friend, and also his brother Nick Russo, who's got the Italian imports. So anybody on my Instagram and my YouTube channel and all that, if you ever need any fine Italian foods, just hit me up or look him up. Luciano Russo, he's got the Russo San Marzano tomatoes that he makes prior on his own. I really don't do that because I don't have the time to, but Luciano is very good at it, and he does a heck of a job. So again, shout out to my buddy Luciano Russo and his brother Nick Russo, longtime friends. So I'm going to continue to do this, crunching it up with my hands, getting it ready to go. So here's the mixture of the mozzarella. We got the little parsley, egg to bind it. I don't add any salt or anything because there's a lot of salt in the Parmesan cheese, the Pecorino Romano. So that's going to be our filler inside the layers for the lasagna. So here in the boiling water, you want to add some salt. Italian rule, do not add oil to your water. The pasta sauce will just slip right off of it. You want it to stick and adhere to your pasta, your lasagna, whatever you choose. So do not add oil to your water. So right now I have the pot getting nice and hot. I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna get my Botticelli olive oil, imported. I want to get it from my buddy Nick Russo, but it is import, but I didn't meet up with him yet, and we will. So here I'm going to add a little olive oil to the pan. Nice, nice. I'm back over here. Gonna get the onions. Put the onions in for the sauce. Saute these onions nice. And over here, what I did with the San Marzano tomatoes for the sauce, I added some basil. We would call it vasanaro. So we added some of that to it. I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna add some salt to the onions so they sweat, let out all the juices. This sauce here, the meat sauce, is going to be for the rigatoni. And this non-meat sauce, with the San Marzano tomatoes, is going to be for the lasagna. So now to the sauce, all I do is I add a little Pecorino Romano cheese to it, off the heat, because you don't want it to stick to the bottom of the pan. My wife taught me that. Mix that around. So after we mix that around, now we got our first level of lasagna on the bottom. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our mix, put it on here, spread it out nice and even. Get it all in there, nice and even all the way around. Just a little bit more over here. Then we get our grated cheese again. And we put our grated Pecorino Romano on top of that. Makes a little crunch. Do that. Mozzarella. That. Now we get our fresh tomato sauce that we made earlier that I showed everybody. And we spread that around. Nice. Get that nice and even also. And now we go for the second layer of pasta. As we're adding our second layer of pasta here. Pat it down so it gets nice and firm a little bit. Maybe one more here in the middle. And then we repeat ourselves all over again. So now when we get to this point, we're here at the end. We got the mozzarella on top. Now we're gonna add some more Pecorino Romano cheese. It gives it that crunch right at the end. Don't be afraid. Nice and cheesy, crunchy. You want to wipe off all the edges like this as you're wiping off these edges, because once you get it out of the oven, you don't want to have anything sticking, things like that. Perfect. Okay, as I clean up a little bit too, now what you want to do, you want to put a little more sauce on the top. Sporadic sauce here and there, not too much, just to keep it a little wet. Perfect. Now what you do is you want to get an oven at 375 degrees. We're going to cover it with tin foil for about 45 minutes. Then we're going to uncover it, and we're going to let the cheese bubble and get nice and crispy and caramelized for the next 20 minutes after that.
You don't cover.
I'm going to go into the oven. And we'll wait, we'll be back. All right, the lasagna, it's been about an hour and a half now that it's been in the oven. I'll take it out like this. Sit it right down like that. And now you let it rest for about, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. Let all the cheese and everything settle. Then we'll cut it up.